Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.
We are the nation of domination.
Welcome to another episode of Bird Gang Nation Sports Talk. I'm your host, Bird Gang 31. And today's nation, we got a goat in the building. It's Mr. LB himself. How you doing today, my guy?
What up? What up? What's up, man? Thanks for having me. How you feeling?
I'm doing great, man. How can you not feel great when you're an Eagles fan, right? You know, that's why I had to get you on here. I be hearing you talking all over the place. I'm like, man, this guy, LB understands. You know what I'm saying? LB understands what we're working with this year in 22.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't feel like all the fans understand it. You know, I don't know why. I don't know what they're missing. I'm not sure what they're looking at. But we got something special going, man. So, you know, I just want to get you on here and, you know, pick your brains about a couple of big things. But first off, you know, tell everybody, you know, how you feeling? You know, how you feeling about this team right now?
I'm feeling real confident. I'm feeling real good, man. I mean, a lot of people want to make, you know, light of the schedule that we played so far, but I just don't think that's important, man. I think stacking up wins in the NFL is important, and it's momentum building, man. This team chasing something. I think you got the right mix of veterans and younger players. I also believe that, you know, you have the right quarterback for this type of situation. You know, Jalen Hurts just said in his last press conference, you know, I've been 8-0 before, and I lost in the championship. He like, I'm chasing something different. You know what I mean? I'm trying to like get the whole mission complete. So I feel real good, man. And the coaching staff, I feel good, and the coach and the players, and I feel good. And, you know, a lot of the offense, you know, I got some concerns, but I guess we'll get into that later.
Yeah. And I'm glad you say that, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like we got everything, man. We got everything on this roster right now. And I loved how I always was telling people about Hurts. I'm like, y'all don't understand. This guy's built different. Like, he's different, you know, like to be in, you know, the biggest stage and even college, you know, the fact that he came out and even said that I've been 8-0 before, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Lost. I know what that feeling's like. So I'm not trying to feel that way, you know, when it comes to winning a Super Bowl here in Philadelphia. And that stuff matters. Like even your greats, like some of the great quarterbacks, they didn't have that feeling until they got into the pros, you know, but we got a quarterback. You know, you're starting to see even Tua right now, what they're 1-2 in passer rating. You know, they both got good offenses. They're both doing their thing. I think they're both undefeated this year too. You know what I'm saying? Like those boys come from winning organizations, you know what I'm saying? And they're used to the pedigree and they're out there balling out.
Yeah, I agree. I think Tua is undefeated in games that he started and finished.
Yeah.
So, but that's still really impressive, like you say, man. I think the thing that really separates Jalen Hurts from any quarterback under 30 years old is mindset. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? I don't even know the list of guys under 30, so I'm pretty sure me saying that is going to shock some people. But I just think the mindset is so advanced for a 24-year-old that by the time he gets to 30, he's going to be light years ahead of the 30-year-olds anyway. So I feel like
Mm-hmm.
his mindset is more mature than anybody under 30. You know what I mean? And that goes a long way, especially when you understand that it's just about winning and not about how you win. A lot of people kind of sleep on us because we don't win pretty. But Jalen Hurts has manufactured 18 play drives. You know what I mean? 13 play drives that have taken 7 minutes off the clock. You know what I mean? We could keep, he's shown the ability to kill you with an exciting play or to just slow walk you when it's time to milk the clock. I mean, the guy gets it, man. And the scheme and the play design and the way that he's grasping the scheme and the play design is just next level. There's never been a guy that has progressed this much in one season at the quarterback position, in my opinion. I can't find it.
I feel like, they're just not used to it. They want to peg him. But like I've been telling
Right.
people, I think he's the guy that you're going to start hearing other quarterbacks be like this guy because he got the perfect balance to me. He's showing you he went out, he worked hard this offseason to get that arm better. And now you see we're winning games without his legs. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't use that as an excuse no more. And the whole schedule thing. Come on now. I want everybody to realize they didn't even realize. I didn't even know this until I checked this out. I was like, right there, we are the team, right, with the most wins against 500 or better squads out there. So what are you talking about the schedule?
Well, yeah, I get that. That's at the time that they played. So when we beat Jacksonville, they were 500. But I like that stat as well because it shows you that we were the ones that started their downslide. Mm-hmm. After we beat them, they just don't recover. Because Washington was talked about as being, much improved until they ran into us week 3. So was Jacksonville. So it is what it is.
Cowboys,
man.
I know they had Rush, but they were winning with Rush. They were
confident. Yeah, listen, hey, they were real confident. Rush just won 4 in a row. You know what I mean? He beat the Rams, he beat the Bengals, but Rush ain't play a real team. You know what I mean? And even Kirk Cousins. You know what I mean? I feel like, we were the ones. Well, Kirk Cousins obviously he bounced back, but we the ones that made them show that they got to be on the A game at all times at least. So I'm not worried about the schedule. Right.
So I think people are really tripping now. Let's start out with our favorite quarterback, man, Jalen freaking Hurts. We got our Hurts season gear on. I love it, man. Shout out to you and
appreciate you, man.
I love it, man. Jalen Hurts, MVP or no? You know what I'm saying? Everybody, MVP or no? I hear people say Josh Allen. I hear people say Patty Mahomes, but I don't really see no one really elevating the whole team like Jalen Hurts and doing it at a way where it's like, when you talk about the way we play football, like we do what we want when we want to do it, how we want to do it. You display what you want to do to try to stop us, and we kind of go counter that and do whatever, we have to do to win the football game. Like, do you think Jalen Hurts, because we look at this, you talk about them boys right now, Jalen Hurts, 3 turnovers, Patty 6, Allen 10. And these guys do throw the ball a lot more, and Allen does run the ball a lot, but you got to throw in the leadership. You got to throw in the undefeated record. Like I think those are the things that you need to throw in to really give Jalen that nod. I think
it's close. I think it's close. I think it's closer with Jalen and Patrick Mahomes. I think Josh Allen. He's been making way too many mistakes as of late, and you kind of gotta look at that, and you gotta be for real about it. You know what I mean? An MVP race is tight. It's all about who's playing the best football at the position. Stats go into it as well, which is why Josh Allen will be a candidate. What he got? Over 2,000 passing yards after 8 games. So does Jalen Hurts, and so does Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen. What he got? 20 touchdowns already?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of touchdowns for halfway through the season. But he got the 10 turnovers. Now, Patrick Mahomes, he don't have as many turnovers. He still got the stats. So I think it's closer with those 2 guys. But then when you look at the record, I mean, it should be it's a no-brainer to me, man. If a guy is about to be 12-0 or something like that potentially, then that's the MVP of the league, in my opinion. It's hard to win 5 games in a row in this league. So if you're asking me, I think Jalen Hurts got to buy a hair over Patrick Mahomes. Because I think Jalen Hurts is playing the most mistake-free football. Then Patrick Mahomes lose to the Colts. They got to count for something. Yeah.
And then what? Did Buffalo just lost to the Jets?
Right.
And I know the Jets are a lot better this year.
Right. In all fairness, I will say that. Yeah.
But no one expected it. And see, that's the thing, though. We cleared up. Like, I know the Jets are better, but it's this year. Who cares what happened last year? Who cares about the teams from before the past? It is this year. We are in this year, and we're still early, kind of early, midway.
Right, And then I feel like losing to losing to the Colts, that shows me you got some type of chink in your armor. Listen,
Mhm.
if this what this proves to me, if the Kansas City Chiefs played what they got played 8 games so far, if they played the Colts 8 times in a row, the Colts could catch them slipping. Now we played 8 Colts in a row according to everybody else. Ain't not one of them catch us slipping. So the
Right.
teams we supposed to beat, we gonna beat. You know what I mean? When you lose to a Colts team that just fired their coach and hired an analyst as interim coach, when you lose to them as the
Mhm.
mighty Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, I think you could get got every 8 games.
Facts.
You know what I mean? I just don't see that with us. If we lose, we're gonna lose because we made a bunch of terrible mistakes, but we're not gonna lose to nobody we supposed to be beating.
And I know how they say a lot of those games were close, but they're double-digit wins. You know, it's like Texas
Yeah.
double-digit win, Pittsburgh double-digit win. Those are teams were supposed to be double-digit wins. I remember back before, like, you know, if a good team squeaked by someone, at least they still won, but, like, we're
Mm-hmm.
still doing it handily. You know what I'm saying? You cry about us not scoring in the second half. The last couple games we've been scoring in the second half. You know, we've been getting turnovers every game. Jalen freaking Hurts is on pace. And I said this before you. I would say the only difference from what I said before the season started was I said 35 touchdowns. And
Mm-hmm.
I said, yeah, about those many yards, you know what I'm saying? But 35 passing touchdowns. I would love to see that number go up higher. But, you know, other than that, this guy's on pace. If you have numbers like that at the end of the season, how
Those
you not
MVP numbers.
how you not the guy?
Those
You know?
MVP numbers, and then you factor in what the record could be. He's definitely having an MVP season, man. I mean, if you don't like, if just people just need to admit it. You know, they thought he was bad, and he's turning out to be way above average. So,
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Let's go to our boy AJ Brown, man. AJ Brown.
mhm.
Howie Roseman done it again. Another
Right.
big pickup. You know, this guy right here, he had more yards than Tennessee has together. You know what I'm saying? Like all their receivers together. Like AJ Brown's that dude this year. Man,
Mhm.
how exciting has it been to watch AJ this year?
AJ Brown, you know, it got to go down as a top 5 offseason acquisition in Philadelphia Eagles history. I mean, it's up there with T.O. It's up there with Asante Samuel. You know what I mean? It's just up there, man. You know, he has totally changed this offense. And now every time you play against the Philadelphia Eagles, you got to worry about where number 11 is. We have not had a player like that for a very, very, very long time. It was almost unfair to Devontae, to Smitty as a rookie to just be thrown into a number 1 spot. Although
Yeah,
he held it down, you know what I
yeah.
mean? He led his team in receiving yards. But you know, he had that arrow on his back, that target on his back, because it's a Heisman winner, man. This is one of them ones. And you know, we're gonna show him who boss. He a rookie. You cannot play them type of games with AJ Brown. AJ Brown gets the yards after the catch. AJ Brown can beat you over top. AJ Brown can become a security blanket. Back shoulder fades to AJ Brown don't even seem fair. And the thing about it is that Jalen Hurts is learning how to throw a lot of throws by throwing to AJ Brown. You know what I mean? He's learning the field more. I feel like. Listen, Jalen Hurts has the only quarterback in the league, I believe, that has 4 pass catches with 40 or more, 3
Yeah.
pass catches with 40 or more receptions. He's spreading
Mhm.
the ball around, and that's all due to everybody got to be fearful of AJ Brown and man coverage. So AJ Brown is the best wide receiver in the division, hands down. In short,
Where you ranking them for out the league right now?
AJ
This year.
Brown.
Like don't do the full year. I mean, don't do the full career. Just this year.
No,
Where
yeah,
you
this
at?
year, absolutely. So number 1, I'm gonna go with Tyreek Hill. I mean, Tyreek Hill is on
Mhm.
pace for 2,000 yards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like never before done, and he is absolutely cooking. Number 2, I still got to give it to Cooper Cup. I think they
Uh,
having like a shaky up and down season, but Cooper Cup has been a bright spot on their offense, man. You know, I got him in fantasy, so I know he always making the big play. And then number 3, I'm gonna go Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is still definitely one of them ones. And then number 4, I'm going AJ Brown.
number 4.
Um,
That's respectable.
yeah, number 4, I'm gonna go AJ Brown. And then between 4 and 5, I go between Diggs and AJ Brown, but I know AJ Brown is top 5 either way you put it, man. Either way you cut it.
My deal with AJ is that I think a lot of people don't realize is the fact that he was on that run heavy Derrick Henry team. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? The team is straight him, but he was still able to put those elite numbers up. When you look at the targets he had with his numbers, and you're trying to compare him to those receivers, you know, he had the same numbers, but in terms of targets, it was like hundreds, like over 100 less targets that he had, you know, coming to him because they don't throw the football like that. I knew him coming to the Eagles, you know, Eagles, they want to throw the football. You can tell. They want to
And
throw that
then
rock
right.
all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? Like
But
it's
it's
just
not. But it's not even that though. So what if we decide to go run heavy? That just proves to me that AJ Brown can do more with less. Now, AJ Brown could have 1,000 yards on 40 catches. You know what I mean? AJ Brown's numbers have been like that. I think his rookie year, he averaged 20 yards of reception. A lot of people don't average 20 yards of reception for a season. That lets me know that almost every play that goes to AJ Brown could potentially be a big play. If you don't trip him up, or if you're just too small, it's a 50-yard play. I think he lead the league in 50-yard plays since he came in the National Football League. He is a big play guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a big guy. And he definitely, like I said, that's a plus too. Not only are you a number one, a true number one,
Right.
but you know how to block. You know what I'm saying? Like you blocked a lot of you had a lot of blocking plays in Tennessee where you're the guy blocking. He's a big physical guy, like you said. So it's like that's helping our run game out even more. You see Miles Sanders out there spinning this year. You know what I'm saying? Give him the opportunity. He don't get hurt. Miles Sanders looks like a Pro Bowl running back. How do you feel?
Miles Sanders looks amazing, man. I mean, I kind of fight with the notion of, we need a bigger back or we need another running back. Miles Sanders had a game this year with a career high in attempts. I think he was around 30, 25 or something like that. Career high in attempts for Miles Sanders proved durability to me. You know what I mean? It's a guy that's played every game of the season. But he's up, I think he's up to 5 touchdowns now.
Yeah.
After not having a 6, after not having a touchdown at all. You know what I mean? He's received touchdowns. He's ran them in. Miles Sanders has ran hard. He ran really hard, especially in Dallas. I think he had about 70-something rushing yards, but he carried the ball 18 times. He really grinded it out for them yards like a big body back would. I respect that from Miles Sanders this year. I think Miles Sanders is definitely a Pro Bowl running back. Miles Sanders is playing like a top 100 player this year.
Yeah, and then you go to your tight end over there, Mr. Dallas Goedert, who's close to 40, I think. I think they say he was in his 30s in receptions. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, receptions. Okay, I thought he had 40.
Yeah. Or does he have 4 too? Is it all 3 of them?
Yeah, I thought it was 3 guys with 40 receptions.
When I seen that one stat that was showing Quez,
yeah,
he only had 8. Yeah, so all 40. You know what I'm saying? Just had another 100-yard game. I think it's the first. He's the 4th receiver, the tight end this year, or whatnot to do that. He's number 1 in yards after the catch. You see him out there beasting people. I said this team is just so hungry. It's like it's so much different. Like, say there's 2 star players on offense, 2 star players on defense. It's like you guys gotta lead the way. You're gonna get all the attention. This team, who you want to stop? Who?
I don't know, but like almost each individual player is hungry. Nobody is out there without a little bit of hunger in them. When you can start from the top, Jalen Hurts. People have been trying to tell me that this man can't throw all off season, yo. I start secretly like fighting a different type of war with this whole Philadelphia Eagles team this offseason because the delusion that a young quarterback can't develop is just mind blowing to me because you got to look at yourself as a man. Didn't you develop from something? So who am I to say that this guy can't potentially get better? So then it just turned into a hurt season for me, and to see him take it serious like I knew he would, put the work in. Listen. Nothing he did was given. You can't take no magic pill for that. You got to put the work in. You know what I mean? He is on a different type of hunger, man. And to have that from the top, your quarterback, of course it spreads down to a guy like Miles Sanders who ain't get a touchdown, or a guy like AJ Brown who felt like Tennessee basically threw him away. He wasn't good enough to pay. You know what I'm saying? Or some of our D line who people were saying was old. Slay, they got to say old. Bradbury, they said was washed. You know what I mean? Robert Quinn, they even saying he washed. They say the whole team was washed. We go out there and acquire this talent. It breeds hunger, man. I'm telling you, man. It's the hungriest team I've ever seen. So I agree.
And I know when I had you in 500 on, I asked you guys, is this the best Eagles team you've ever seen? And I think you guys both said that you wasn't sure yet because there's a couple of good teams out there. But I think by now, it's time to just say this is the best Eagles team we've ever seen before. Like, I'm not but I'm saying, like, come on, how do you argue?
I'm not mad. I'm not mad at anybody saying that because it's the best start of franchise history. So no other Eagles team went 8-0, but we have had teams that went deep in the playoffs too. We've had Super Bowl teams. I feel like to stamp yourself as the best Eagles team in franchise history, you got to get to the NFC Championship game. Then I could say win, lose, or draw from that point. You know what I mean? Then you might be one of the best Eagle teams in franchise history. But right now, I don't even think you're one of them. 8-0 is cool, but we need to stack up some wins in the playoffs, man. You know what I mean? The mission ain't done.
Definitely not done. But I'm saying as opposed to a lot of those other teams, if you want to go back to 2007, a lot of those guys were, veterans. You knew their prime. They're in their prime. They're doing their thing. You already knew about them. These guys, none of them. Who's in their prime on offense for one? Jalen's not in his prime. AJ's definitely not his prime. Smitty, Goddard, you can go on all the starters. Like none of them are really in their prime except for on the line where you got Kels and you got Lane Johnson. Mala's not in his prime. Landon's not in his prime. I won't even say Syed Mala's in his prime. He's still kind of a younger guy, but we already got,
I don't even think Goddard is in his prime.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like none of these guys even hit the ceiling, so you don't even know what to top them out as. So I think that's what makes us more dangerous. And our coaching staff's not in their prime. Those other teams, Andy Reid, you're talking about one of the best coaches of all time. Big Red, I love him to death, except when he plays the Eagles and beats us. I hate it. But you know what I'm saying? Like our coaching staff, you don't even know what they about to do.
I don't even think Andy Reid won the Super Bowl in his prime. I've seen like a lot of good versions of Andy Reid. So you know what I mean?
I think he was better. I think he was probably better with us. I think Andy won because he got he did what Nick did this year. He he gave up the play calls.
Yeah.
They gave it to Shane, and what he do? He gave it to Bieniemy over there,
Yeah.
and that's when they won that Super Bowl. Because you got to be, if you're gonna be the head coach, you got to be that main guy all over the place. You can't just worry about one position. That be your bread and butter while the rest of the team's kind of struggling. And you do need to free up your time, where you're able to go acclimate that time and teach up and talk up where you need to do. Because you see him, he's a fighter, he's an inspiration. He thinks of these corny, slogans and whatnot that everybody just like, what did you just say? And they work. We are in full bloom right now, my guy. We are full
right.
bloom.
What he is to me is I think he's just like a good manager of people. I think he's a motivational speaker for real. Mm-hmm. He's not calling plays. He's just there to make sure everybody is ready to go on like an emotional level. You know what I mean? And that just suits his role really, really well. It's a lot of coaches that have that role. Like if you're not calling plays, you are there to oversee things and you are there for emotional support. You know what I mean? They talked about who was it? Gannon talked about him today for the way that he structured the short week. You know what I mean? The way that he put the practices in. Yeah, right. The way that he put the practices in. He was like, that was brilliant by the coach. It had our minds and our bodies ready. Like that's the stuff that he worry about. You see how it affects the team. So like I think he got the perfect role with us.
And another thing he said that I loved about that in that interview, because he goes, it just starts at the top, man. All of us are hungry to get it. You know what I'm saying? None of us are, there's no, indiscrepancies between each other. We all got the same focus. We all got the same level. And it starts at the top from the owner, GM to coaches, down to him to the players. But man, all these guys are laser focused. That's another thing. I've never seen a laser focused team like this. Like none of them seem happy. None of them are like, okay, that was cool. Hey, we won. Haha. Even to hear Jalen was like, yeah, I know for the city, this is a big deal. Ain't no for you guys.
They smart though. They smart. They hungry and they smart. They know like it's inevitable, man. Like you're not going to go on this young in your career without ever losing another game. They just trying to avoid it. Once you want to streak like this, the best thing you could do is avoid it because you're going to get everybody shot each and every night. The 5-1 Texans gave us the best shot of trying to at least, and it's like the least thing I could do is say that I beat the undefeated Eagles at my 1-5-1. So that's the least thing that I could do is say I gave them their first L. Look at the Lions. Their season basically over. The least thing they could do is say we beat Aaron Rodgers. They still talking about how exciting the win was. The Lions was a 1-win team. Everybody gonna give us that energy. So if it's somebody that's semi-good, like Washington, semi-good at 4-5, we gotta play. We gotta take every game serious. We gotta take every game serious.
And even that being said, for all those that are like, look at your schedule, that is a difference that you're not equating to look into your schedule. Like you said, everybody's giving us their best shot every single game we play. So you might play the 1-5, whatever, and go dump on them. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not the undefeated team. You're not the best team in the league. They're going to come with a different angle at you as opposed to us. Like, we could be the first team to knock these guys off. Let's go.
You think the Texans ain't say, let's spoil Jalen Hurts' homecoming? He from here. We don't care. He about to leave here with an L. And up until the Washington Commanders played, the whole division was 500 and above. Up until the Commanders played on Sunday. So really, like, I think that's the only division that got that in the league. So, everybody want to say our schedule is bad, but look at it from this angle. We beat the number 2 seed in our conference. We the number 1 seed. The only ones that get the Vikings a loss. The Dallas Cowboys are talked about as having one of the best defenses in the league. We was the first team to put up 2 touchdowns on them. The Commanders were hot. They were 2-1. What was they? They were 1-1 when we ran into them. The
Mhm.
Jags was hot. The Jags was 2-1 when we ran into them. You know what I mean? We
Mhm.
cooled a lot of these guys down. We was down 14 to the Jags. A lot of teams don't come back from that in the rainstorm. You know what I mean? The Cardinals took it down to the wire. We had to block a field goal. So being undefeated is not about the teams that you play. It's about overcoming all of the stuff we had to overcome. We was in a shootout with Detroit. You got to be able to win different ways to be undefeated. That's a talent
Facts.
in itself. I'm pretty sure that anybody they line up in front of us for the next couple of weeks, we got a way to beat them because we that talented.
Exactly. And just knowing the fact that, everybody wants to go to towards the end of the season, some of these teams that are struggling right now are going to get that much better. So now you got to worry about these guys, come playoff time or whatnot. But looking at, the division leaders right now, I need to know what team out there scares you the most? Are you scared of anybody in our division at all, for one? And if so, who do you really think is that team that we really shouldn't like? We can't be feeling ourselves too much, because this team might come out and do something to us come playoff time.
Um, the only thing I could really say that I'm scared of would be of facing any division opponent in the playoffs. You know what I mean? You just don't want to play nobody for
Facts.
3 times in a row. You know what I mean? I'm not scared of it, but who wants to play? You know what I mean? Who wants to play the I wouldn't mind playing the Cowboys in the playoffs. I wouldn't mind. I like that type of high stakes, but I don't really want to play the Giants in the playoffs.
Mm,
You know what I mean? I don't want to play the Giants in the playoffs, but I would definitely play that. Listen, whoever, I'll play either one of them in the playoffs. You know what I mean, and give them another one. You know what I mean? That means more. We'll be able to brag about that for years because it's so rare that you even play a division in the playoffs. Now, outside of the division, I'm worried about Tom Brady waking up. You know what I mean?
mm.
Certain guys just not going to keep going out like that.
Like
You
Aaron.
know what I mean? Right? Aaron ain't gonna keep going out. This will
Yeah,
be
I wish
Aaron's
Aaron
sixth
won
loss in a
some
row.
games and looked good already. Cause then I'll be like, yeah, I feel like we're gonna go beat them
Right?
Packers. But knowing that he's been getting slaughtered and looking like hot trash, I'm like, it'll be just our luck.
They're gonna figure. They're
Again, we
gonna
go
figure.
play them. He
They
go
they're gonna
lights
figure
out
something.
on us.
They're gonna figure something out. Aaron Rodgers is gonna figure something out real fast. He just lost 5 straight games, first time in his career. He about
Yeah.
to figure something out.
Three
You know what I mean?
interceptions first time in his
I'm
career.
surprised. Right? I'm surprised they're not calling Odell. That's all he needs is one. All he needs is one competent
Ooh.
receiver.
Ooh. And that brings
All he
up the
needs is
next
one.
hot take.
Hmm.
OBJ and Eagles green, baby. Two reasons why. One, to keep him away from other teams from getting better. And two,
Yeah.
why not have OBJ, the end of the year rental? I'm not talking about signing him something long. I know he wants a little bit more. I'm saying the longer this strings out before anybody can go sign him, the more probably willing he'll be to go win a chip. You seen what he
Right.
did with the Rams when he signed with those guys. If he doesn't get hurt, he's the MVP of the Super Bowl. You know, now
Hmm.
no one's came back but AP from ACL like that and played at a high level. That's why I'm thinking he probably I don't know, it could be a pass, but I was just saying, man, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith with OBJ in the slot, game over. What are you thinking about it?
I agree, but it's only one football. I kind of think we already stacked because Dallas Goddard is a big part of this as well. If you add OBJ, what does that do? That probably exclusively, put Quez Watkins at punt returner, so your special teams get a bump automatically. You know what I mean? I don't know. Our guys, Odell's willing to take a back. See, I think it could work. I think
Yeah,
it could
because he
work.
went
The
to the
only
Rams and took it back. See, he wasn't a number one
right.
guy there.
I think actually it could work, but I wouldn't do it to keep him away from nobody because I'm not afraid of him. You know what I
Facts.
mean? I think it could work on our team because we deep in case he don't play at the level we need him to play at. Because you never really know where he at. But if he was to go to the Cowboys, for instance, I'll use them as an example. He's probably the best wide receiver on that roster right now until otherwise,
Facts.
until proven. You know what I mean? He definitely takes somebody's job over there. But it is what it is, man. We'll see.
I think it'll be more like I said. I am kind of worried about him being, full strength, being able to run around, do be what we
Mhm.
see in the Super Bowl, OBJ. But the fact of the matter is, ain't nobody game planning for Pascal, ain't nobody game planning for Quest Watkins. But if
Right.
you throw him into that offense, whether you throw him the football or not, you got a game plan for him.
But this the thing. But this the thing though. We already got enough people you got a game plan for, and we already got a system that we don't need nobody else involved in. You got a game plan for AJ, you got a game plan for Dallas Goddard, you got a game plan for Jalen Hurts, and you got a game plan for Miles Sanders. You know what I mean? And then notice I didn't even name Smitty. You probably don't got a
Mhm.
game plan for Smitty right now, but you got to be mindful that we got a second option that can also catch really, really good. You know what I mean? It's already listen. The RPO makes you game plan for too much anyway. It don't even matter who on the field because
Mhm.
just the threat of Jalen Hurts and the way this offense is built, you got to worry about him throwing and passing. That's two things you got to worry about for one player. You got to worry about Miles either taking that handoff, running a route, or blocking. It's way too much. You got to worry about AJ Brown. Like we straight, we straight. You know what I mean? I wouldn't mind it, but I think we good right now.
I know we're good. I was
Mhm.
good before a couple of players ago, before CJ,
Right,
Chauncey Gardner, before Bradbury. I'm like, we good. We can go do
right.
this right now. But I'm just saying, like, just to, you went out and got Robert Quinn. I didn't think we really needed that. I'm like, a lot of these defensive guys not getting even that much playing time anyway. So it's like
Mhm.
to go get him and imagine him, 10 weeks full of practice. The first few games, you're like, okay, he's getting acclimated, and he actually had some effect
But
on
this,
the defense.
but this,
But
right,
now I
right.
think you about to see the real Quinn come out. You're gonna see a lot of quarterback sacks and get into that quarterback.
You need them guys like Robert Quinn because like you need to stop in the playoffs, 3rd and 8. We ain't doing no rotation. The best player is going to be on the field in them situations. You know what I mean? The best player is Robert Quinn off that edge. You know what I mean? Next to Robert Quinn, the best player probably would be Hargrave. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Next to Hargrave, the best player would probably be, I don't know how, depending on how you feel about Fletcher in situations or Jordan Davis. You know what I mean? It's going to be one of them guys. Then on that other edge, who's it going to be? BG or Sweat? You know what I mean? It's probably Sweat at this point. You got to give the best players the playing time in them situation. But I trust BG in that situation as well. So I think that when it's time to have the best player on the field, that's where we match up way different than a lot of people. We just don't like to run those sets because we like to keep guys fresh and avoid injury. I think in the playoffs, though, the best guys will be on the field, and I think our roster is just from top to bottom filled with like real good guys, Pro Bowl level guys.
Yeah, like we said, when Miles was saying that in the offseason, like, why doesn't he think that? Everybody on the team is Pro Bowlers. You
Right.
start looking around, Pro Bowl, Pro Bowl, Pro Bowl, And I was saying, like, too, the reason why I'm so cocky with it, and I know the Cowboy fans and Commander fans and Giants hate me. I'm just like, forget y'all, because I don't even worry about the NFC East for real. I feel like there's some good teams, and I am very happy and proud that our division is finally stepping up again. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's good, to even think that there's a possibility if Washington get their stuff together, there's a possibility that all 4 teams can be in the playoffs. And that ain't never happened for a division,
Right.
And
Right.
but the best part about that is the Eagles are leading the way this year. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, who cares if you won our division when we're the crappiest division in football? Okay, good job. You won with 9 wins. Okay, you good. You won with 10 wins, 11 wins. If we go out and finish doing what we're doing right now, we're gonna not only have one of the best records in the league, but we're gonna be in the best division in football. I think that's even that much more special.
It is, man. It makes it that much more special, man, to be, basically we leading the way into getting some respect back on the name of the division. We at the head of that. They was calling us the NFC least last year or last couple of
Facts.
years. We are at the head of respect being back restored. You know what I mean? Within the NFC East. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. You know
Let's
what I
talk
mean?
about a
When
little
you
bit. Oh, go ahead.
go
What you
ahead.
saying? Let's
No,
talk
no,
a
I
little
was
bit
saying.
about the defense. I know we've been on that offense, but what do you think about this? You seen Big Jordan Davis go down, right?
Mhm.
And for one, I don't like the fact that everybody's all of a sudden, oh, we just need Jordan so bad. We can't stop the run. Really, 2 running backs this whole year that really lit us up. Pierce off of a short week, where they're tired and they got a short week and they're playing football and we still won double digit. And then you got to go back to that Lions game with Swift, right? Who got 100 something yards on us like that. Other than that, uh,
No, it's
and
been it's been it's been kind it's been kind of bad for us. I'm starting to see a pattern. I ain't going to even lie to you. The last 4 games we show a pattern of giving up 5 yards of carry to somebody in the last 4 games. This how it started. We gave up 9 yards of carry to Swift. 9 yards of carry to Swift. After Swift, I want to say Zeke had 6.2. The dude Connor from the Cardinals had around 6.1 or something like that. The third string running back from the Steelers had 5 yards, I think 8 yards of carry. The third string running back from the Steelers. He had 50 yards rushing. He only had like 8 carries or something like that, though. But they was all monster holes. That lets me know that the depth can't even tackle. And then after you get after Connor, who was it? It was somebody, the Texans guy. He had 5 on the nose. Somebody else touched us
but
too.
you
So
gotta
a
look
lot of
at it too,
guys.
LB though. Listen, I think, and I see the number. I know when you think of the numbers, you're like, oh, these guys are giving up. look at the situations we've been in. Think about this, LB.
No, I was
We have rattled
going
off.
to get to that.
We haven't went into the second half losing to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like we're second quarter, historic numbers right now in terms of scoring. Like we give people running lanes on purpose. You're not scoring touchdowns on us. You might run all the way down the field, but interception, turnover once you get down there. You know what I'm saying?
I understand. I understand all that, but there's ways you can give guys running lanes without just totally being unmatched. Like in the Texans game, over and over and over again, the Texans was running 13 personnel. That's 3 tight ends with a line offset on either one of the sides, probably. That's a running formation. It ain't too many pass plays out of that formation. We are in a soft zone coverage looking at 13 personnel with 1 linebacker in the middle of the field. That is just totally not matching the energy. That is bad scheme right there. Even if you do not have a run play called in that situation, if you're the offense, you better audible to one because they not matched up to even stop your run. Audible to a run play and get this quick 8, 9, 10, 12, 30 yards touchdown. One of them going to happen, and we just totally wasn't, even ready to stop the run. When you play soft, you tackle soft. When you don't show aggression, you turn non-aggressive. We was out there trying to. I think I seen Gardner Johnson try to hit stick somebody with his shoulder. He could have broke his shoulder because we playing soft. We ain't used to running up and rapping. We got to get more aggressive on defense. The run could kill us in the playoffs. That's the only thing I'm worried about.
Yeah,
teams running on us could really hurt us.
So you don't like the run and the Bimber don't break defense. I like it to the point in terms of like we don't need to. Like I look at this more like in a different aspect. I go, if you're up 20 points, 14, 20 points as in the second quarter, right, going into halftime, especially when you're up 20 points. It's like the Nets, we all play Madden. What do you do when you're up 21 points when you go play Madden? You go hit that clock, run the clock mode, right? And you're calling running plays, you're going vanilla. You're just trying to run that clock out. You're trying to get this game over with. You're not showing more game footage. Like we could be that team score. I feel like a lot of these games we could have put up 60 points if we wanted to. If we wanted to be that aggressive, we want to do that. But now you're risking more injury. You're getting people tired. You know what I'm saying?
But this is what I'm saying though. I get it from the defensive side of the ball. I mean, I get it from the offense. I get the offense bleeding the clock. That's what they're supposed to do. The defense has shown a pattern to me of guys just being able to run sometime. We got to tighten up. Now, it ain't cost us yet, so I really can't say I'm alarmed. You know what I mean? But you can't play like that against Derrick. If Derrick Henry and 13 personnel and you playing 7 yards back, it might be a wrap for you. And what's so frustrating for me is that, let's look at the quarterbacks we playing. We ain't got nobody to even be fearful of like that. We could load the box for real, for real. Bradbury and Slay are having all-pro seasons. Gardner Johnson lead the league in picks. We could cover out there one-on-one if we want to. We just choose not to do it and be aggressive and shut down the run. I think we're going to have to make guys like Malik Willis throw the ball. You got to make these guys throw the ball. You know what I mean? It was Davis Mills. Come on. Make him beat me and let me shut down this run. I just think that got to be a mindset.
Well, how do you feel about that? Because my belief is everybody's like, that's who you got to worry about next. You got to worry about your Derrick Henry. You got to worry about your Saquon Barkley. You got to worry about Zeke and Pollard again, like these running teams. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, realistically, do we? With the offense that we got, do we?
Yeah, but this the thing.
We just let this Pierce guy. How many yards he ran for? 100 and something.
Like 130 something.
Yeah, we can let these guys run for as many yards. Guess what that's doing? That's the running clock. Guess what that's doing? We're putting up numbers faster in the air nowadays. This year, we're not just that running team last year. We can run when we want to, but we're putting up numbers quick. You see AJ and these boys. Jalen Hurts is calling audible.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, though, but the first 3 games of the season, we was up 24 by halftime. 9 times out of 10, you abandon the run if that happened. When teams don't abandon the run against us, you end up in a shootout in Detroit. The Texans did not abandon the run. It was 14-14 at the half. You see what I'm saying? If a lot of these guys would have stuck with the run, who knows how it could have ended up for them. Dallas ain't get back into the game until they start running the ball. I'm concerned with the run defense.
But that's the reason why if you can keep putting up these touchdowns passing, no one can stay with the run. I know that's what people keep saying they're not staying with the run, but you get put in a situation where you can't stay in that run because when you get down double digit, your running game might be getting you chunks 5 yards here, 10 yards here.
This the thing, though. This the thing. When these guys are staying with the run, they in the game because this is what they're doing. They're keeping our offense off the field. We got an explosive offense. And we keep allowing dudes to run, that explosive offense don't touch the field. That's what happened against Detroit. But we were able to hit on too many explosive plays against Detroit. In a grounded out game where teams are running the ball and controlling time of possession, you got to get them dudes off the field. Now, I will say this: one thing did save us. We did lead the league, and I think we still do lead the league in 3 and outs. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like it's kind of balanced out. But
And
I
that's
know
what
I'm
they- not only
right.
three
It's
and
kind
out,
of balanced out.
takeaways,
Mhm.
points against, yards against.
Right.
Those are the only stats I need to hear on defense. Period. If you're number
Right.
one takeaways, you're number one in points allowed, you're number one in freaking yards against, and you're number one on third down. What else do we need to really, you know what I'm saying? Like, what else is there? Like, if you're continuously do that, no matter what, you said in all these games, but like you said, they were down in some of these games and they start running their way back into it. No matter what, if you're down, for one, we already got the lead. So it's like you're not really worried about it. Our offense haven't really showed that anybody can stop them, because how do you do it? You want to stop the run, we're gonna pass. You want to, load the box, play back, we're gonna, we can kill you short yardage and we can run the ball down your throat. So it's like I don't think there's a team, even especially not on our schedule, that's gonna be able to stop that. That's just dual threat. You can't.
I don't think I don't think so either. But if you run into San Fran in the playoffs, for instance, they're gonna run the ball. They're gonna run the ball. They're not gonna stop running the ball either.
Ain't nobody care about San Fran.
I don't care about them either. But when you talking about a championship and you talking about the teams that potentially are going to be in the playoffs, you gotta this is the time to start looking at people. Now we ain't got the number 1 seed locked up, but listen, the run game is a concern for me. It's just a concern. It's a concern.
Too, by that time too, how much more developed, how much more together these guys are going to be playing at. You know what I'm saying? Like, how much farther along down the process. We haven't even played, like we say, the last 2 games. You hear Coach Sirianni say they're completed more, like as complete of a football game as you can get. But in reality, we haven't played a complete football game yet either.
No, we haven't.
Like,
we have
we're
not.
still getting better. We're still learning each other. We're still gelling, but we're doing it in a process where we can win and still do it. So now you look at some of these weaker teams that we are going to play. You go practice a little harder, make it a little bit more pretty. By the time we get to the playoffs, unless one of those teams are straight on fire, like, what I'm saying?
No, this is the thing though. Like the schedule for the rest of the way. How can it be easy when you got the 6-2 Giants twice? You got the Giants 6-3 or 6-2, one of them. When you got I think 6-2. When you got the 6-2 Giants twice, you got the 6-2 Cowboys again. You got the Titans. They just won. Ain't they 6-3? No, they lost. The Titans are 5-4, I think. Yeah, the Titans are 5-4. You got a bunch of teams with winning records that's coming down the stretch of this thing. So I don't think the schedule's easy.
I'm just saying, talent-wise, like I feel like the only people that can beat us is us. Like, we're the only ones that can stop us from winning. Like
that's true, that's true. That's true, and even right, and even Justin Fields is playing better. So everybody, this is the point of the season to where teams start to find out what worked for them. We found out what worked for us early in the season, but we still got to be sharp because everybody looking to give us the L. I think that first L, whenever it come, I think it's going to wake us up, and then we're going to just go on a tear after that. But you know what I mean?
What do you think about the mindset of those? You hear about the teams that go 11-0 and lose, 14-0 and lose finally. And it's like, they're relieved or whatnot. But I feel like these guys are on a whole nother level. They're focused
I think so too.
1-1, so it's never that big, I'm worried about that. 1-1. If that equals out, what do you think the chances are of them going 17-0?
I think the chances are high, honestly. I think it could be done. But the bigger question is this: like, do you chase it? You know what I'm saying? Say if you got the number 1 seed up to week 15, you got 2 games left on the schedule. Listen, I ain't mad at you playing week 16. I'm not mad at you playing week 16. I'm not mad at you padding the stats. You know what I mean? Like, you already got it wrapped up. But listen, I'm not about to have you go out there week 17. I'm sorry. I just don't see it because you're chasing something bigger now. I will say this. I'm not mad if you know what? You might have to go out there week 17 to get it. Go out there and get it because you got the bye. I'm scared of you sitting 2 weeks though. You know what I mean? Not playing you week 17. If you get down to you needing week 16 play, you know what I mean? If you need week 17 play, you know what I mean? If you needed to complete the mission, I don't know. It's confusing.
Like, what would you do if you're the Eagles? Say we are 15-0. You got the last 2 games. Like, and
you
even
gotta
like
go for
14
it. I ain't gonna lie.
With the Cowboys, Giants, who's the last 3 games? The Giants, Cowboys, and somebody else, right?
I think it's the entire division.
Yeah. So it's like, do you really? You already got everything locked up. If you're I think we're 14-0 by that time. We're already number 1 seed locked up. You know what I'm saying?
You're still playing though. If you're 14-0, you still gotta play.
The only thing is,
that's too many weeks. That's like 4 months off. Because you get that first round bye. That's a month off.
Yeah,
You
that
got to
is
play.
one
If you're 14-0, I think you got to go for it. You
What do you
still
think?
got to play.
You play your starters the first half, and then certain starters you take out of the football game just to let get other guys in the game, and your key pieces you keep some starters in there so it's not sloppy football. And I think with some of our backups, we can still win some of these games.
You know how hard the back end of that schedule is going to be if you're 14-0? Them last 3 games are going to be hell. Everybody going to try to make sure you don't go perfect. Them last 3 games are going to be brutal. They're going to be playoff games in itself.
Mm-hmm.
I think our record alone is what's keeping us battle tested. A lot of people not thinking on the same scale that I'm thinking. If everybody want to hit you, if everybody want to get you out of here and give you that first L, you getting everybody best shot. How you ain't battle tested?
Facts.
Who you want us to play every week? You know what I mean? Did you see the post with a girl?
Yeah, I got that post.
Yeah, you gotta put that up there.
I got
You know
that.
what I mean?
That
Like,
was so funny.
look. What people would like the Eagles schedule to look like: the Chiefs, the Bills, the Dolphins, Cowboys with Dak, God, Thanos, the U.S. Navy SEALs, a bye week, the Bills, the Chiefs, the entire Wakanda army, God
Right.
with the 85 Bears defense. What you say, an army of Derrick Henrys? Come on, man. You
Right.
know what I mean?
But that is how they are. That's how
Right.
they are right now. There's so many
Vikings not in
excuses.
prime time though. Come on.
So many excuses.
Listen, I would take the Bears' best shot over a lot of teams' best shot on that list. Because a team that got nothing to lose is a savage, man. People just act like they don't want to give us that credit.
That's true. That's true, man. And I think like someone's like, "Hey, you're way too cocky on here, Bird Gang. You're way too cocky." I go, "I can be cocky. I'm a content creator, Eagles fan. I can be as cocky as I want, but I know I watch the same news you watch. I watch the same reports you, and these guys are not cocky. You know what I'm saying? They're
This
focused.
the thing.
They're laser focused.
Nobody.
I'm gonna say my.
It's not too many people that was sure this season like you and I were.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I was for sure on it. I for sure knew that this season was going to produce a lot of wins. I didn't think the schedule was easy. I just thought that this team was just too good to fail. Too good to fail. And I took into account the Rams. I didn't think the Rams was going to slide like this. I didn't think the Bucks was going to slide like this. I didn't even think Dallas was going to be this good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I took all those things I took into account. You know what I mean? I didn't think the rest of the division was going to be this good. That's the only surprise to me, that how good the rest of this division is.
But you look at the Giants, right? You're talking about Saquon's really great this year, and Saquon's really great anytime he plays. And he's healthy. Every time he's done it, he's been a baller. He's a beast. But Danny Food Stamps, I like to call him over here. I'm not concerned. I feel like every team that don't got an established quarterback, Daniel Jones. I know. I think I heard you talking about like he would be in a Pro Bowl right now if you were to do a Pro Bowl type thing. But he's still not a quarterback that I fear. Even if you want to go to Niners, I don't fear Jimmy G. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about Jimmy. These are guys that I feel like our defense should be able to eat up. Against the Titans, even if it is Malik, whatever, they practice against Jalen Hurts every day. They'd be ready for a running Malik Willis. And plus, he's way too young. It's just like Jalen Hurts last year. He's way too young for that big of a game.
I'm worried, but this is the thing, though. I kind of worry about that game. I worry about the offensive game plan in that game. AJ Brown going to want 4 touchdowns.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. If he could get it, he gonna really want 4 touchdowns. I worry about that. I worry about that being more important than us winning.
Ooh, that's a good take. I like it.
Yeah, I worry about that being more important than us winning.
But kind of that Jalen Hurts.
But if he cooking though,
Jalen Hurts going back home, we still ran the football. You know what I'm
Right?
saying?
No. I think at the beginning of that game, we was throwing the ball.
We were throwing.
We was on a mission in the beginning of that game to show that Jalen Hurts could throw the ball, and I learned a lot from Jalen Hurts, man. Like, you can't play Tampa 2 on Jalen Hurts. Like, Jalen Hurts was destroying that cover 2 defense. You know what I mean? He knew exactly what to do. He was on time. He was crisp. You know what I mean? He only threw 6 incomplete passes that game.
Yeah. Hey, man, it's crazy lined up. But how many Pro Bowls do you think? If you're thinking about our team right now, do you think it's gonna be like, what was that year? Was it 2004?
I think it was like 10.
When we had like 10, 11 Pro Bowls that year. We had another one of them type of years this year, I feel like.
I think so, man.
What would you think would be the biggest pickup? Because I'm going right now. It's Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, man. I didn't expect this dude to be as good as he is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought it would be a nice pickup, whatever. But that guy right there, number 23, beasting, man. Beasting.
He's
What do he remind you of? I got killed because I was like, he reminded me of a poor man's Ed Reed out there. Because the way he's he's making these interceptions happen. He's not letting them just come to him. You see
He's
him leave this guy off and go run and go get the interception. You know what I'm saying? He hungry for that football.
he's physical, but he don't deliver the same blow as Ed Reed. He don't deliver the same blow as a lot of safeties. Honestly, man, I just think he's unique, man. I think he got unique ball hawking skills, man. I think he really could catch like a wide receiver. He's good at reading. He's good at using his eyes. He's not afraid to tackle. That's a good question, man. I really can't pinpoint, who he reminds me of as a safety right now. I really
I guess
can't
if you want
pinpoint.
to say the conversion from cornerback, over you go.
Not too many people have made that conversion as
Malcolm
successful as him.
Jenkins, like who else has really done that? You know what I'm saying? But like this
Right.
dude knew he was a better safety. Like when he was on the Saints, he wanted them. I know for money reasons too, but he wanted to become safety because he's like, I'm one of the best slot corners. I'm not getting my love, so let me go play safety. And I think he kind of knew where he would be explosive at. And right now, like no one thought in the beginning of the season he'd be leading the league. The way big play Slade out there balling
Mhm.
out, the way Bradbury's out there balling out. What 4-3, or they both got 4 now. It's like 4-3, I think it is. Was Slade get 4 and Bradbury
I
got
think they
3?
both got. I think they
Or
both got three.
they both got 3.
The
Okay,
Slade, the Slade get one against the
they have
Texans.
4. I thought one of them had 4 for sure. 4 interceptions. Yeah, cause I want to say Slade had 2 back to back. We got to check that out. Or chat if you guys know, let us know. Because we got shout out to the 65 in here. Make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe to LB if you have not, which I know
Mhm.
you guys all have, because he is one of the ghosts of Eagles content. And subscribe to Birdman
Appreciate you.
31 if you have not, done so. We just hit 6K too today, just before the live hit. We hit
Oh, that's what's up, man. That's
6K.
what's
So
up.
shout out to all you guys, man. Much love to the nation, man. I don't know, man. You talk about Bradbury's. And that's another reason too. I feel like a lot of these teams they're good on one side of the ball and they are on the other side, or they better
Mhm.
defense, not so, all right offense. But we're like dominant on both sides. Like Slade Bradbury, you know what I'm saying? These
It's
guys right here.
legit.
These guys
It's
right here.
legitimately
Like
they
who even
beat.
thought that was going to be the lowest passer rating, 36.2 and 38.4 in the league? Do you consider does that make them 1 and 2 in your eyes, or are you still
Yeah,
like
they are. I think they're 1-2 right now, and they're 1-2 as a tandem. I think James Bradbury has 11 pass deflections.
yes, Slay got 4, as you said.
Oh,
Yeah.
Slay got 4. Yeah, Slay
Yeah.
got 4 interceptions. They said I read a stat that said a quarterback would have a higher passer rating if he just threw at the dirt every time instead of throwing at Darius Slay. You have a higher passer rating.
That
That
is
it was some type of
legit.
right,
That's
some type
legit
of
right there.
a little bit of Earl Thomas. I could see that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But yeah, man. This team has probably 5 All Pro players right now, man. Jalen Hurts is an All Pro quarterback. I think he's playing at an
Fact.
All Pro level. You know what I mean? Anytime you're in
I'm
MVP
stuck on
discussions,
MVP for real.
right?
I'm
You know what
not.
I mean?
He's the
He playing
MVP.
at an All Pro level. Gardner Johnson
Mhm.
lead the league in picks. That's an All Pro level.
Mhm.
Slay and Bradbury, they're playing at All Pro levels. Kelsey is playing at an All Pro level.
Hargrave's
Um,
lighting up.
Hargrave is playing at a All Pro level. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It just goes on and on. I think when you look at TJ Edwards' numbers, you know, I don't know if it's a quite All Pro level, but he damn sure playing at a Pro Bowl level. It's a lot of talent. Miles Sanders is playing at a Pro Bowl level at least.
Yeah, right here
You know
they
what I
said
mean? It's a lot
top
of
10
talent.
linebackers. TJ
Right.
Edwards is
TJ
number 8.
Edwards. Yeah, I told you, man. If you really look at
Number
his
8.
numbers,
But
you would
we
be
talk more
surprised.
about White than we do about TJ.
Right. Right. I think
That's
TJ might
crazy.
got like 25 more tackles than him. I think TJ got interceptions. TJ got sacks. TJ been all over the place.
How do you feel about that? Next year, right? You got White, Edwards, both need new contracts. You got
Mhm.
Dean, who Gannon said today, he would be 100% confident putting him in the game, as a full-time guy right now. But
That means somebody. That mean you can't keep both. I
who
mean
would
you
you keep?
draft
Who you keeping?
you drafted.
I know
Man,
it's White and Edwards.
I really like Kaiser White, but I feel like TJ Edwards is just coming into a zone. I feel he coming into a rare zone like super like star linebacker status. I feel like he coming into that zone,
Do you
and
think
I feel
White's a
like
star now?
yeah. I think White is really really good. I think White gonna make some money somewhere, but unfortunately, I think that Dean was a 3rd round pick. So was Davion Taylor, who stayed
Mhm.
around for a while. But Dean is one of those guys who only gonna get better if you give him the time. You can't stash Dean. You got to put Dean in the game.
Yeah, this
Maybe
special
he
team.
maybe he get bigger, stronger, lift some weights or something, but you got to put him in the game.
Yeah, I don't like. I feel like he should have at least a package or two right now. Like there should be a little bit more playing time besides special teams right now for
I
Dean.
mean, it's hard to justify because Kaiser White and TJ Edwards are playing really, really good.
They
Like
are, but
you
look at
eight and
other
zero,
players that play good.
you 8-0, you 8-0
You do it
with
with
Dean
Jordan
being the
Davis,
backup.
don't you? I know he's a first round pick, but you do it with Jordan
Mhm.
Davis. You know,
You do I mean, you do it with Jordan
Hargrave,
Davis because Jordan Davis has shown when he's
Fletch.
in the game, teams don't even run up the middle that much. Jordan Davis has shown that he affects the game. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Of course, he
I'm
does.
not moving. I'm not moving nobody out if you 8-0 at this point.
No one.
Nah, I ain't moving nobody out.
What do you think we do about our safety spot? Are you on the board of like Epps isn't playing that good, or is he just not getting enough attention because all the other three?
Epps is having a phenomenal year. He had a bad game against the Texans, but that happens. Epps is having a good year. I
What
like
about
Epps.
Kayvon?
I think Kayvon showed me some positive strides in the Texans game. You know what I mean? He don't get an opportunity to play as much. I mean, then when you think about him being in the Dallas game, he gave up a few plays, but
Are you
that's the
still on
backup.
Kayvon?
I don't
Kayvon
know.
Ford?
Didn't we just sign somebody to the active squad?
Chandra,
Uh,
Andre
Andre,
Chantier, whatever his name is.
Andre Chachere or something like
Yeah,
that. How you say?
Shastre. He played with
Yeah,
us before.
right. But you know what I mean? If he's active, what does that mean for somebody in the safety core?
Mhm.
Is somebody hurt? Are you planning on moving on from Kayvon Wallace? Like you don't just activate that dude. He was just on the practice squad, wasn't he?
Well, when I was just talking to Chris Franklin, he was talking about how, people don't realize that even with the corners, Josiah Scott's really hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like Maddox is hurt with a hamstring right now. He was like, Job is still battling injury and Blankenship's still battling injury. Like you hear the name, think, okay, we got some depth, but he was like, man, in reality, these guys are still battling injuries. You know what I'm saying? So Josiah Scott wouldn't even go in if, Maddox doesn't play this week or something like that because it's hamstring. It's like I didn't know these things about the Eagles. I just thought, oh well, we got this guy, that way. They've been playing a lot more 3 safety looks than normal, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, Kayvon's that guy. He's the guy that's in there. He's the guy that's playing it. And
I think he's getting better. You know what I mean? I trust him. I trust him a little more. I mean, you ain't got no choice. I mean, he knows the system. He knows the players. He knows the terminology. He's been here what 3 years now?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, throw
He
him in.
hasn't done
Throw him
nothing
in
in
there.
3 years for real.
Throw him in there though. He got a stop on Davis Mills on like a 3rd and 11 or something like that. Brought him to the ground, but throw him in there.
Yeah, I guess that's the only way you really get better by playing.
Yeah, I would throw him in there.
Give
He
me
looked like
your
he got bigger.
Yeah, he did get bigger. What happened to Jacoby Stevens? Because if you watched the whole year last year, he got bigger. Every post game, you see him walking back to the locker room. I was watching because I always wanted to see if Jacoby was going
He's
to get.
still on the roster.
I thought he was still in the practice squad.
I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Like he got bigger and bigger and bigger. I know they changed him to linebacker. I think that's really what messed him up. He ain't no linebacker. They
Yeah,
said
he
he
probably
likes to come down
can't
to the
wait
box
for
and
to
play
stay in the league.
safety.
Yeah,
Doesn't make him a linebacker. You know what I'm saying? So that's another guy that's worried about it. Give me the most underrated player on the team right now.
most underrated player on the team right now. Um, that's hard. I feel like everybody at some point or another get their respect. Um, I'm going to have to go with Epps. As good as I think Epps is playing, you know what I mean. I think it kind of gets overshadowed. You know what I mean. He is a part of the engine that helps this secondary be as great as it is. So I'm gonna go with Epps.
And then, even though everybody's doing good, is there an overrated player for you?
No, I think everybody doing their thing and everybody holding their weight. My second candidate for underrated is Devontae Smith. You know what I mean. He's definitely holding his own. A lot of people think he's being left out somehow, but he's
Mhm.
on his way to about 850 yards, about 5 touchdowns or something like that. Very solid numbers for a number 2 wide receiver.
I think as people think that AJ's getting the ball, but like you see that stat, he's only 3 catches over. AJ
Exactly,
had
but
43. Devontae's still in the game. He got 40.
his just go
Yeah.
for explosive plays.
hmm
I never really seen us dial up too many. Well, we dial up some deep balls to Smitty.
That's the next question. What the hell is going on with Quez Watkins? Like, I
As only
understand everybody needs the ball,
Mhm.
but I feel like he could still, even like I was talking to him, Chris, about earlier, like even if you just sit them on some go routes, just throw a couple of them just for the presence of it. You know what I'm saying? Even if you hit on them or not, just throw them just because. He was saying that he talked to a lot of NFL guys and they're like, well, they're still worried about when Eagles get in that trips position. You know what I'm saying? And Quez is there because they're like, whoa, Quez can really take the top off. Then you got Devontae, AJ doing their things across the middle. It's like, just throw that ball a couple of times just to throw it. Even if you don't hit it, just throw it just to make people want to back up on you. If you hit it once, now people going to open their eyes like, oh, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if other teams are really concerned about it and we ain't doing it yet, I think that, maybe we should start doing it. Every game I feel like you should throw a deep ones, like a bomb. I know.
Yeah, but I think the way that we playing is how we've avoided a lot of mistakes too, though. You know what I mean? Only 2 interceptions. You know what I mean? By taking what the defense give you. I haven't seen many plays of Quez running wide open and him not throwing the ball to him for a big play. I haven't seen a lot of. Remember, they would show us all of that stuff all last year. It hasn't been a lot of that this year. It hasn't been a lot of missed opportunities. I just simply think it's only one ball. You know what I mean? And Jalen Hurts is getting the ball to 3 people at a high rate. You know what I mean? Sometimes it can't be 4 because we still do run the ball.
But you think about those 3, right? Devontae, crisp route runner, of course, you getting them on all these little slants and outs and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Eating up that short yardage stuff right now. Goddard, short yardage plus the middle of the field, his big physical tight end. AJ can take it anywhere. He's taking slants, he's taking posts, he's taking, streaks, and that's cool. But I feel like that being said, it's still like that's your burner. I think they say Quest is the fastest guy on the team. That's your burner.
Yeah. I think
I understand.
I think they're gonna try working, man.
Smarter, playing smart, and that's why Jalen's second in passer rating. That's why he has such nice stats passing the football this year. He's not turning it over, but man, just to throw like 1 or 2 a game. Remember when we had Djax?
Yeah, but that was his like specialty though, and Djax never had like that supporting cast. You know what I mean? A lot of the time when we had Djax, he was the best wide receiver.
The best receiver on the team.
You know what I mean? Quez Watkins
is that with AJ. I guess that makes sense. I just want to see him. Pascal getting balls. He's getting love.
Yeah.
What you grading coaching staff so far this year?
Nick Sirianni, I got to give him an A. He's 8-0. I really don't have nothing bad to say about the coaching staff, just the run defense. It's hard for me to give Gannon a bad grade. I know a lot of people would, but we lead the league in turnovers and we lead the league in 3-and-outs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We lead the league in points scored on a team per game. So I can't give him a bad grade either. You know what I mean? I got to give Gannon an A too. Like the holes in the run defense. Gannon's going to be a head coach at the end of the season. The holes in the run defense, it hasn't cost us any games. It's just alarming.
What about Steichen? Think he's gonna be head coach? Because everybody knows Frank just got fired.
Yeah.
Did you see Frank? If Steichen say he go get a head coaching job, you think we stay inside the organization and build up, or since him and Nick are so close, that Nick go get this guy to be his offensive coordinator, and would that benefit the team?
I think if you get Steichen, I think Nick Sirianni keeps the playbook, as close to what it is as possible. Yeah. I think Steichen probably can add in some different, Frank Wright could probably add in some different, some different things to the playbook. But I think you gotta get a guy that's your quarterback. Like at this point, you got an MVP level quarterback.
So Brian Johnson, as he said, I say move Brian Johnson to OC if he does leave. You would do that before going to get a Frank Wright.
Yeah, I would move Brian Johnson.
You look at what's his name that went to the Patriots. Now he's a head coach. Josh McDaniels. Some players are just better, coordinators than they are head coaches. At the end of the day, maybe that's it with Frank. Maybe he's just.
You won a Super Bowl with Frank, right? He'd definitely be more qualified than anybody else on our roster to have a former head coach be your offensive coordinator. But you got to worry about the power dynamic because didn't Sirianni used to work under Frank Wright? Will Frank Wright even want to accept that position now? Working under a guy, you know what I mean?
If he applied for the job, he would, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
If the Eagles go 17-0, or if the Eagles go 20-0, and I know because every year I'm like 17-0 to proven otherwise, but this year I'm like 20-0 to proven otherwise. If the Eagles does do this, right? Will they be the best team? Forget the Eagles team.
Absolutely.
They'd be the best team ever.
They'd be the best team of all time. If they go 20-0. Can't be disputed, can't be debated. It is what it is.
And how do you feel about that? Do you think they can do it? Like, give me a percentage, LB. Like, what do
If
you?
you go first,
20-0.
first
Forget
I'll say
17.
this. I'll say this. First, you got to go 17-0,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can have a realistic conversation about 20-0. First, you got to go 17-0 because you ain't got no choice when you go 17-0. I'm worried about being 3-0 in the playoffs, regardless.
Yeah, I think once we get there, it'd be a wrap. Like I said, like if these guys can keep their poise, like everybody says, the pressure builds up. I'm like, they had the pressure. We already started to experience that pressure right now. Where people are like, oh, everybody wants to give us their best. So if we can go another what we got, we 8-0, so we got another 9 games left. If we can do those 9 games with the pressure, I'm pretty positive the playoffs ain't gonna be no different. Like we're gonna do our thing and ball out there. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like this is a special year to be a fan. And if there's any other moves to how we can do, make them. Because I feel like this is going to be the only time we see this team. I told you that all these guys have not reached their prime, but we got some key players that are veterans. Kelsey might not come back. Fletcher Cox at the end of his role. Lane Johnson wants to play here forever, but are we going to actually pay him to keep him here forever? There's a lot of things there that you got to worry about. So, this is the year, and I'll be just trying to get everybody pumped up. We got, this is that year. What do you think we're doing against Washington this week?
I think we're gonna win that game. I'm looking forward to another dominant attack in the air. I think we're gonna, I think we're gonna bomb on them vertically. I mean, Jalen Hurts. I think he might average 300 passing yards a game against Washington. He had a 300 passing yard game last year, and a 300 passing yard game this year, and I think he's poised to do it again tomorrow. At the Link Monday Night Football. You see our last Monday Night Football game? No, I'm not gonna be at that one.
It could be my first home Eagles game, LB.
Damn, I'm gonna be out of town.
My first home Eagles game. They've been sick. I want to do some live streaming at the Link. Because my goal is to move there, by April. I'm fixing up my house now, get it ready to sell it, to go move down there. Because I just feel like the podcast game, me doing this, it's hard working full time, one job, and doing this another job. And I feel like I really love doing this. I've met a lot of cool people, a lot of key people in the business, and it is a business too in itself. So, you got to approach it as a business. And I think it'd be nothing better than to be in Philly, a whole year, not having to worry about another job, sell your house so you don't have to worry about the financial, burden of living there, and just live there for a year. I'm not saying I'm going to live in Philly forever, but at least 1 year, get a full year up in there. I think it'd be nice, and it can definitely help the situation out. So, but yeah, man, hey, thanks again, LB. I don't want to keep you too long. We already over an hour. Much love to you, my guy. Let everybody know, even though they know who you are, but just go ahead.
You could just type in just type in Lord Brunson in Google or something like that. All my social media platforms at Lord_Brunson. You'll find me there. I do daily content on my YouTube channel. So,
and the guy I seen your clips, my guy, got it with the big Trey Thomas, man. That's
yeah.
We actually doing another love.
We're actually doing another one tomorrow, me and Trey Thomas. You definitely can check that episode out on Thursday.
I hit him up. He's like, I'm just a little too busy to podcast with you. Like, all right, Trey, thanks for flying back. Hey, I got Corey. I got Bobby. You know what I'm saying? I think I had Bobby twice, so I'm not too mad at it. But, my goal. But that's his type, man. Trey Thomas is definitely a legend.
Yeah, definitely a legend, man.
Any new merch coming out? We got the We Built. I want to give you a hat, LB. I need some help with my promotion game. You obviously took over the scene with the shirt season, my guy. I got the We Build Different shirts out there because I do believe that this team here is built different. But you got any new merch coming out?
No, I mean, the winter hats just came out. A lot of people are excited about those. I still got hoodies and all of that stuff, man.
What about the music game? 17 Birds, my guy.
I really specialize. Oh, the latest project came out October 7th. I'm already working on the second one, so we'll see how long it's going to take me to get done with that. How much you charge
to do an intro, my guy? I need a new one.
Intro, I haven't really thought about it.
That's only a minute 30. I need some bars for a minute 30. I need some
bars for a minute 30. I didn't even really think about that. I didn't think about it. If I do one intro, I gotta do a lot more.
You don't ever put yourself in that shoe. Okay, hello. They didn't ask you for all these years. You've been on here for a while. They didn't ask you for 1 year. That's their law.
Right. No, but I definitely appreciate you, man.
Hey, much love, man. My guy, much respect. Go hit that like, hit that subscribe, and fly Eagles. Fly till next time. BGLB. We out.
Yes, sir.